But what's the best sports show? I just thought it would be fun for you and I to kind of kick that around. I'm going to say Inside the NBA. I've
Mhm.
watched it many, many times. I don't watch much in the NBA. I really don't. I used to, and I used to have season tickets. You and I used to go to the Bulls games when we were both in Chicago. Been good a lot of Timberwolf games over the last 20 years or plus or whatever. But uh, uh, other than that, not a lot of following. Don't watch it on TV at all. Except I'll just tune into TNT just to laugh when you've
Oh,
got
yeah.
Shaq sitting there on one side and you've got Kenny Smith, who's is great, kind of a middleman, right, in between he and Barkley, and then of course you got Ernie. So you've got the greatest group of guys. They're funny. They do a lot of great things. They know what the heck they're talking about. You appreciate their opinions on everything because they've been there, done that, and these guys are absolute freaks in terms of what they were able to accomplish, especially Shaq. But John, is there anything better? I mean, there have been times where I'm just sitting there by myself, nighttime, turning it on, and I'm watching that, and it's the most entertaining thing ever. And sometimes they might not even be talking about basketball, and it's still great. It's absolutely great, and it's fun. But is that one of your faves, or is it more into something at ESPN, or what would you say?
No, I would say you're right because they have so many characters there, Pete.
Yeah.
And they are characters because Shaq, fantastic. I mean, the whole group, Charles Barkley, that they make that show. And if they dropped off, the show wouldn't be there. It would fall right off a cliff. So I think Pat McAfee also has one of the best shows. I question some of his guests sometimes and some of his regulars, but I know he really puts his heart and soul into it. And when he's live on game day and things like that, Pete, it's unbelievable because he will sing the fight song from any school, and because he's just that into it. So I'd say those are the top two. With Stephen A's show, of course, being in there. So I'd say these are the top three shows. Stephen A. Smith, like you say, that NBA show, and Pat McAfee.
Yeah, McAfee's phenomenal. My favorite one so far, well, there's probably two. He had one when he was at the University of Georgia that he went absolutely bonkers out there and had everybody singing songs and everything. And then there was the one at Notre Dame last year where he brought in the fake Lou Holtz to interview Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
That was off the charts. I mean, that was phenomenal. And the coach is such a great guy at Notre Dame. I love the heck out of that guy. And he's a competitor. The guy's from Ohio State, and he's the head coach now, obviously, last year or two at Notre Dame, and he's done a great job. He's outstanding and just a nice guy, and they have real quality people. That was a great one. All right, John, Major League Baseball. Who's the MVP? I'm going to say there's two or three guys that I think could stand out and you could just make a great argument on any of them. But there's something about what Aaron Judge is doing this year where the guy's on pace for 60 home runs. He's already hit 42. Ohtani's only 6 behind him, so Ohtani's right there in most every category. But when you look at what Aaron Judge has been able to accomplish, I think it's pretty amazing. He's second in his performance right now, batting average, 329. That's pretty incredible because this is a home run hitter, and yet his batting average is right up there with the very best of them. He's number 2 there. He's number 1 on RBIs, makes some sense, 107 of those. He's also been walked 98 times, which is the number 1 spot. I wonder why they're walking him. Well, they don't want another home run going over the top. That's why.
That's why.
This guy's pretty special. I think you could make a case for a couple of other people, one of them even being Ohtani. But he's a designated hitter. That probably hurts him a little bit because, he's not as much out on the field because of the injury, and he's not pitching this year. All of that. Still an amazing guy. Still hits the ball 500 feet. But I put it on Aaron Judge. Where do you stand on this one?
I'd say Aaron Judge, obviously, Pete. But I'll throw out a couple stats to you real quick. Yeah. This guy, Witt, who plays for the Royals, so nobody ever sees him play because, unless you're a hardcore Royals fan, you know that, Pete, if the Royals came to town, that would be the ticket you'd sell. Because you're saying, well, I got 82 games. I don't need to see all 82, and I for sure don't need to see the Royals. Well, this is why you might want to keep that ticket rather than sell it. He's hitting 350 this year, Pete. His On base is 174. He's got 153 hits. Okay, so Judge has 20 doubles. This guy has 31. Judge has 1 triple. He has 10 triples, double-digit triples, Pete. Now, the difference is, of course, Judge has 39 homers. He has 19. But, if you were playing Moneyball, which one of those two guys do you really need? The guy with, the higher batting average and all those doubles, triples, or do you need the guy with the homers? Now, Judge is a great player, no doubt, and I think the shoe-in for the MVP this year. But this guy, Bobby Witt, you just take a look next time the Kansas City Royals are anywhere near or watch them on TV, and you'll say, yeah, pretty special.
Well, and the other thing I'd even mention, John, is Kansas City is, even though they're in third place right now in the Central, they're pretty damn good. They've won 65 games, and these guys have one of the best run differentials of anybody in all of Major League Baseball. They got 91. Now, there's other, the Yankees are 107, Baltimore's 93, but nonetheless, these guys are right there. So despite the fact that they are just sort of sitting in the middle and we could say that they're boring, it's Kansas City, who cares? I think Witt has raised that level to the next level. They could be a team that could possibly do pretty well, I think, if they were able to get into the postseason. Now they're not that far away because they're chasing the Twins and the Guardians, who are kind of battling each other back and forth, and they've been slowly kind of creeping up. That makes it pretty interesting. And that kid Witt, he is amazing. Some of the numbers, and you read some of them off, he's pretty special and somebody to watch, I think, in Major League Baseball. Probably doesn't get talked about enough because he's buried down there in Kansas City right now. And everybody else is talking about the Chiefs. They're not, they're not really going about the Royals right now. It's all about the Chiefs, which makes sense. They're Super Bowl champs twice, and they are going for a three-peat. So it makes a little bit of sense, but it's a great field down there, and it's pretty cool. And I think Kansas City is a team to watch.
I agree.